So welcome to the month of September City of Revere Board of Health meeting. Can you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So thank you. Welcome. My name is Drew Bunker. I'm the chairperson of the Board of Health. To my left is Kathleen Savage, board member. Also here is invited municipal staff, Lauren Buck, who is Director of Public Health, Michael Wells, who's Health Agent, Director of Inspectional Services, and Paula Supelvito, who's Board of Health Clerk. We also have in attendance Anthony Bronco, who is the solicitor of the Revere. Outside counsel, sorry. Yep, apologize, outside counsel, that's better. So first we're going to review and approve the minutes from the August meeting. So I asked Kathleen if she approves those minutes.
Yes, I approve the minutes.
Excellent, I approve as well. Next we will do the Inspectional Services Monthly Report with Michael Wells.
Thanks, Dr. Bunker. September stats for the inspectional services are as follows. In the Interior Housing Division, we conducted 83 certificates of fitness, 26 re-inspections on certificate of fitness. Interior complaints received were 2. Interior complaints received in process is 3. Interior complaint re-inspections 1. Pool spa inspections 1, and pool spa re-inspections 4. On the Food Inspection Division, we conducted 35 routine inspections, 5 re-inspections, 3 complaint inspections, 1 pre-opening inspection, 14 temporary food inspections, and 1 establishment closure. On the Exterior Sanitation Division, we issued 388 violations for trash violations, accumulation of trash or bulky items, carts out at improper times, 1 violation, commercial vehicles in residential neighborhoods, 3 violations. Overflowing dumpsters, 27. Improper signage on property, 2. Junk heap in automobile graveyard, 17 violations. Multiple unregistered vehicles on a property, 1. Unclean, unsanitary land, which is overgrowth, 98 violations. 1 violation for unsafe structure. That concludes the Inspectional Services Monthly Report.
Great, thank you, Michael. Next, we're going to do the Public Health Communicable Monthly Report with Lauren Buck.
Thanks, Dr. Bunker. For September 2025, we had a relatively low burden of communicable diseases. I do want to point out that we had 86 confirmed and 18 probable COVID cases. Very consistent with the national trends where there was a bit of a wave in at the end of August and September. Next up, some updates from the City of Revere Health and Human Services. Just wanted to talk about our fall respiratory vaccine clinics. We have several options. For our homebound residents who potentially are listening to this, or if you know someone who is homebound who lives within Revere, this year we're having homebound vaccine trips that run mid-October for flu, COVID, and pneumonia for both people who are homebound and their caregivers. If you are interested or have any questions, you can call the Public Health Office at 781-485-8486 to schedule or to ask any questions. We are also giving flu shots out every Wednesday in the Public Health Office in City Hall, in the basement level of City Hall, from 3 to 5 every Wednesday from here until mid or late fall. You can also call us if you have any questions about that, 781-485-8486 for more information about that. We're also having a larger regional clinic in conjunction with Chelsea and Winthrop on Saturday, October 18th from 10 to 5 at the Chelsea Senior Center, which is 10 Riley Way. There we'll be offering flu, COVID, pneumonia, RSV, and shingles if age appropriate and eligible. So if you're interested in getting any of those other vaccines, you can always attend that clinic. Or if you're interested in or just getting flu and COVID and you want to get it all at the same location, you can always go to that clinic. Secondly, the Fire Prevention Week events I wanted to update everyone on. So we've been working, the Public Health Department has been working with the Revere Fire Prevention team to bring Fire Prevention Week events to Revere residents. There are 3 events that are happening. We've recorded PSAs that are going to be going on Revere TV over the next couple of weeks in multiple languages that talk about different aspects of fire safety and fire prevention, things like lithium battery safety, cooking safety, carbon monoxide, and smoke detector alarm checking and all that good stuff. So look for those on Revere TV. We're also going to be visiting kindergarten and second grade classrooms in conjunction with Revere Public Schools at H Elementary School the week of October 6th and 10th to do fire safety education. And finally, Fire Prevention Week open house kind of culminates on Saturday, October 11th from 10 to 2. Again, this is the open house at Central Fire, 400 Broadway, with a lot of different fun events for kids and families, and a lot of information that you can get about fire prevention and fire safety. And that's it.
Great, thank you, Lauren. Next is the condemnation proceedings for the address is 230 Harris Street, and I'll just have Michael Wells take over for here.
Thanks again, Dr. Bunker. This is a condemnation proceeding for property located at 230 Harris Street. This property came into inspectional services as an interior housing complaint from the previous tenants that lived there. The home is currently vacant. The complaint included rodents, non-operable fire protection, unclean, unsanitary land, trash, and debris. An inspection report was issued in October of 2022. Violations were not corrected. Property received weekly fining from inspectional services. It was transferred into our Safe Housing Task Force division in February of 2024. They conducted a Safe Housing Task Force inspection with the team in February of 24. The property was vacant at the time. Missing fire protection, fungus and mold growing out of the floors, structural damage on the walls and ceilings. Building was not secure at all, not locked, doors open. City has spent a long time trying to rectify with the owner with calls and letters. We did meet with the owner in March of 2025. He did sign a remediation plan, taking on the work himself. To this point, no permits have been pulled to correct any of the violations at the property. We recently obtained an administrative search warrant through Chelsea District Court. We went into the property once again, and then a receivership has been filed on this case as well in Chelsea District Court, and I'll turn it over to our outside legal counsel, Attorney Brunko, to describe that.
Thank you, Mr. Wells. Thank you, members of the Board of Health. My name is Attorney Anthony Brunko, and I represent Inspectional Services with respect to the property violations at 230 Harris. I'm going to provide to the Board of Health just copies of the memorandum that I filed. Just because it'll be helpful to follow along with some of the exhibits I want to present. And the reason I'm filing all this is because I want to just kind of underscore this condemnation, this request for a condemnation didn't happen overnight. This is a long-standing issue that's been going on since 2022. As Mr. Wells said, there's now been 3 inspections at this property. There's been fining. There's been meetings. There's been an in-person meeting where a remediation plan was signed. And I will direct your attention to the copy of the remediation plan, which will be Exhibit D. In essence, what happened was we sat down with the property owner, together at Inspectional Services in March of 2025. We explained the violations to him. We explained the types of permits that he needed in order to remediate those violations. And we explained that he cannot do all of that work by himself and that he has to hire licensed professionals. We gave him a date of April 10th to pull those permits, or at least to get the ball rolling. What followed was that we didn't hear from him. And to date, I still haven't heard from him. The only contact whatsoever has been one single plumbing permit application, which was received in June of 2025, and that permit application was for less than $1,000 and is simply to replace elements of the kitchen, which simply doesn't cover the scope of work. The fact of the matter is, we were back in August of 2025, and what resulted was we saw that additional work has been done. Mr. Wells stated that there was fungus and mold of some sort growing out of the floor. That's now been removed, so we think, but there's now flooring over where the spot was, and there's been no inspection. So that's just an example of what happens when permits aren't pulled and when there's no contact. We don't know what's happening in the property. So it makes it incredibly dangerous. Mr. Wells also mentioned a receivership case. So in February of 2024, we did file a receivership case in Chelsea District Court. In August of 2025, the court issued an order, and I will direct your attention to Exhibit G. Excuse me. The court order essentially states, it's essentially a condemnation order in that the respondent, the property owner, is no longer allowed to go to the property without written consent from the Board of Health in order to do the work. He must have had permits to do the work. He's not allowed to reside there, and the property must be secured. And so while this order goes pretty far, it's not a condemnation order. And so at this time, we're here before you to request that the Board of Health specifically condemn this property, which will allow for additional ease of administration with respect to the enforcement. In addition, because the property is vacant, this is a case where no hearing necessarily had to be held. Under the state sanitary code, when a property is vacant, property can be condemned without a hearing. We specifically requested that we have a hearing in hopes that the property owner would show up, that we'd be able to speak with them before or after the hearing, get in touch, and try to get this resolved. Unfortunately, that hasn't happened. So at this time, Revere Inspection Services would request that the Board of Health vote to condemn this property. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Just some questions. So looking at some of the reasons why the violations, I see one was the fire protection devices that were not installed. That continues to not be addressed.
That's correct.
Holes in the walls and ceiling, still not addressed from our knowledge.
Correct.
Okay. All right. And up from, to what point was this inhabited by people, or when were people living in this apartment or in this building? Do we know exactly?
I can tell you that at the time of the second city inspection, which was, I'm gonna look this up. Excuse me. In February of 2024, it was vacant.
Yeah, I mean, this building, from everything that the attorney has said, is it's not safe to live in. If he were to rent this out or live in there himself, there'd be some serious health risks. And so I think as the board, it is our duty and obligation to ensure that people are not living in these type of conditions. Unfortunately, this was a situation where someone could have fixed these issues and was given ample time to do so. I think that, in order to protect this individual and other individuals, we'll have to go ahead with a condemnation. I wish the person was here to speak, because it would be nice to get their perspective. But I'm curious Kathleen, what you say and what you think. If you agree with the concerns and the ideas from the thought that a condemnation is necessary.
I definitely agree. Looking at some of the elements that you handed to us to look at, yes, definitely. It's not safe health-wise. It's too many issues. No, I agree that may be the only process is the condemnation.
Yeah, so I think I certainly vote for the condemnation at this location. Kathleen as well.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's 2 votes from the Board of Health. And yeah, I think that's our opinion, and thank you for speaking about this matter. We hope that, this gets rectified and that this building can be livable, but at this point, it is not a livable location.
Thank you, members of the Board of Health.
Dr. Bunker and
Yeah.
Kathleen, I would just add as well, and Attorney Brunko, that, this property owner has had other properties in our city, one actually burnt down from a fire, and he's had some other issues in some other cities and towns, so there's definitely some history here with this property owner as well, with the condition of the property and other properties that he has owned.
Great, thank you for that. It's unfortunate, but All right, I think that's that will conclude this month's meeting. Board of Health, thank you.